Hey, it's Justin with Seaboard Marine. In this video, we're doing a follow-up to the Envirovent video that Corey made a while back. Specifically, we're going to talk about these breather filters and what they do, what they're for, and what to do if you start to see a little bit of vapor or smoke coming out of these. So stay tuned. Okay, so what are these breathers and what are they for? So first we have to understand all engines are going to have blow-by. Blow-by is basically the high compression and the combustion that's happening above the piston. It's a lot of pressure. You have a piston that's moving up and down hundreds or thousands of times per minute, and there's no way to maintain a perfectly airtight seal, especially as the engine ages. So that high compression explosive combustion gas is going to escape past, a little bit of it is going to escape past the rings and into the crankcase cavity, and it has to be vented. And all engines have to deal with this. So what this is for is when we have a recirculation system like our Envirovent system, we are drawing those gases through this tube that we have. We use a 3/4 inch corrugated tube, and we use a long tube down to a low point with a puke bottle. The idea being that all that surface area is going to condense and collect some of the vapors and particulates and nasty stuff, and it's going to collect in the puke bottle. The air filter and the turbo can only draw so much volume through that long tube. So you have this long tube going over, and if you have more blow-by than what the filter can draw through that tube, you know, the turbo sucking on the filter, air is coming into the filter, it's going to try to draw some through the tube, but it can only draw so much. And so if the amount of blow-by coming out of the engine exceeds what can get pulled through that tube, you're going to start to see a little bit of vapor coming out of here. And if you see that, what that means is that your engine has so much blow-by, and we usually see this around 1,500 to 2,000 hours, sometimes as early as 1,000 hours, depends on how hard you run the engine and a lot of factors. But when you start to see vapor coming out of this, you know that you have more gas escaping than the turbo is pulling through. Now the point of this is to keep the turbo and air filter essentially from sucking or creating a vacuum. It's vacuum brake filter, so that you're not sucking on the crankcase, encouraging more blow-by. So that's the idea. If the engine's tight and there's not very much blow-by, you don't want the turbo to be sucking on this, pulling and sort of creating a vacuum in the crankcase cavity, encouraging even more blow-by. So this allows the engine to draw a little bit of air through here rather than pull on the crankcase cavity. It just kind of keeps things in balance with a newer tight engine. So if you have a brand new engine or an engine with less than 500 or even 1,000 hours, you're probably going to want to have this. But once you exceed that and as soon as you start to see vapor or smoke coming out of this thing, you don't need it anymore. So there's two things you can do. If you have the timing cover version like this, you can just take the air filter off, and we've provided a provision here, and you can just connect this right to there and hook your hose up, and you're good to go. And all the vapors and smoke, particulates, whatever, will just be recirculated, just like they were being recirculated while this was on there. It's just that now that extra blow-by that's coming out of your engine is going to be captured instead of escaping out of here. If you have the valve cover version like this, then you can just get rid of this altogether. You can take the hose that goes to this and just connect it straight to the oil fill breather or your riser if you have a riser, and you just get rid of this filter altogether. You can push it down, and sometimes that's enough to reduce, you know, it kind of seals it up. But if that doesn't work, you can put a little coupler in there or just get rid of this altogether. And so just a quick video on what to do if you see smoke or vapor coming out of your Envirovent vacuum brake filter.